Hello everybody, it's Anne Marie and I wanted to stop by today and share the project that I created for Scrapbooking with Me's Boutique over on Facebook with the paper collection from Anna Griffin, and it is the Juliet collection. And here is what I created as one of my design team projects right here. It's a canvas. So let's see if I get it straight in the camera so you could look at it. This is a 12 by 12 canvas, and what I did was I flipped it over on the back side and used the paper that was with the writing on it. Let me see, I thought I had the name wrote down. It was this paper from the collection, and what I did was I covered the frame and the background in that, and I used some gelatos and covered the back of the canvas with the gelatos. And let me see, the gold. I used gold. And let's see, I used the gold, and I used some of the browns, and I used the chocolate is what I used, this one right here. And I did use a little bit of the iced chia, and then the butterscotch was what it was. It wasn't gold. I'm so sorry about that. I used that and went around the canvas with that, and I toned it down a little bit with some white gesso so you can see the words in some places. On the frame you can hardly hear. I did put it on here, but you can hardly see it. When I started working with this, I hold on one second. Like I said, when I first started working with this, I thought I was going to initially see all of the words when I put this on here. But it turned out a little bit different. And I really like the way this looks because it has this peeled paint look of the canvas. The frame that was created by this, it kind of looks like it's all peeled off. And I really, really like the way that came out. But it did not start out to look this way. So this is what I ended up with. I was going one way and ended up a different way after I started playing. I thought this was really looking cool. So I wanted it to look like it was peeled. So what I did was I painted the frame with the paper. I used that gel medium to put the paper on the frame to get it to adhere, and I filled it in on the inside. You can still see it on the inside some. See how you can see some of the words, but you can't around the frame, and that is just fine with me because I really like the way it came out. I took a stencil and went around the whole frame with some like modeling paste, and I use this Prima stencil, and Edith can get these in the shop. She sells Prima, so you just let her know, and I'm sure she can pick that up for you. And I took this and I went around the whole frame with the light modeling paste. And after that dried, I did some more layering. First, I started out with these golds right here. These are the Tim Holtz Distress, the Distress Stain, the paint, and the paint dabber. And this is, I think, the older paint. I'm not sure. This might be the newer one. I'm not quite sure because this is the Distress Stain, and then this is the paint, and this is acrylic paint too. And I'm not sure if these two are the same, but I ended up using both of them. They don't look the same to me if you look at them. One is a little bit darker and has a golder tone than the other one. So I used them. And what I did was I went around the whole frame and I painted this coat on here, which was the, let's see which one this one was. This is the gold. So I first painted, just dabbed it and put it all over the place. And then I took some of these gelatos and I used the butterscotch, the iced chia, and the chocolate, and I rubbed them on. And then I came back over after all those, and I let each layer dry first. I wanted it to dry really well. Then I took some of this distressed stain, and this one is the tarnished brass. And I took that and I went around the frame also. Then I took some of the archival ink. No, I did not use archival. I used the Stays On Brown, Timber Brown. And I went ahead and laid the pad on here and just rubbed it all the way around to the raised edges to give that look. And I just let it touch where it was touching, where it wasn't touching. I just, you know, it did not touch in some spots. And then you can see some spots where it did touch on the frame. There's a little bit right here. And there's some right here. So it did hit some of the areas that were not raised, but a lot of it was just the raised areas. And wherever it hit, I let it fall where it was going to go, and I dried it. After I dried that, I took a damp baby wipe, and I went around it, and I rubbed it. Now, the brown timber that's on here, it's not going to come off because it stays on. But this, however, did rub off some. I know that it's supposed to be permanent, but I don't know if it was because I did not seal it with anything. And I had put a gloss. I had used some, not the gloss, but the, what do you call it? Matte gel. I had put a layer of that on there before I started layering all the coloring. So I'm not sure if maybe that's why it started rubbing off, because I did put that down after I put everything, the modeling paste and the paper on there, because I wanted it to be sealed really well. I didn't want the paper to start tearing up and coming off. So that's why I put that on there. It wasn't to protect it or anything. It just was, you know, to protect it from peeling. I did not want the paper to come off. So once all that happened, like I said, I took a baby wipe and it was damp, and I started rubbing in spots. Now, none of the brown come off, but the gold in there did. And you can see by the different layering techniques that I used with the different colors, you've got some different gold tones in here. And some of it's a flat gold, some of it is a shiny gold, some of it is like a peeled look. I just love the way this looks. And you can really, let's see if I can get this in the camera so y'all can see. See right here how it looks like it's peeled? I really like the way that came out. And then we got this album in the kit. And I said, well, I don't really want to make an album. What could I do? So I decided to make more of a shadow box with it. And what I did was took 4 of the layers. 1, 2, 3. I used 4 of the layers. I did not use this piece right here, which was the flat piece. This one right here was the back piece. This is the only piece I did not use. I did get it prepped and I was going to use it, but I didn't feel like I needed it. Once I started getting it together, because the back piece, this bottom piece was going to act as the backing for it. So I printed out the pictures that I wanted to use, and these are of my great niece, and she's just so cute. She had taken several different shots with the hat on, and she loves horses, so she's like a tomboy. She's so cute. And I wanted to do something to make it, you know, for my living room. So this is what I ended up doing. What I did was I covered each of the sheets, and I didn't cover the whole big square. I only covered in the spots you're going to see, so I didn't waste any paper. I just covered up to here where you would see this. And these right here, I put pictures in there, so there was no problem. I didn't need to cover those. This sheet, I did, the top layer did get covered quite a bit because it was the whole sheet, and that was going to be the top piece, so I used that. And what I did was I covered it and cut it all out, and then I inked it all around, and I used the new Abandoned Coral Distress ink. It just looked well when I put it on there. I did a little bit of a test on a piece of scratch paper that I had, and when I rubbed it after I did it with my finger, because what I did was went around the edges of it, and then I took my finger and just rubbed them in on the edge just to give it, and I liked the way it turned out. So that's how come I used this color. The other reds just did, or the pinks didn't look well, so that's why I use the new line, and I love these new colors that he's put out. So after I did all that and I layered my pictures, I had it sitting, and I used some of this tape right here, and I put it in between each layer to give it a popped raised look. If you can see, you can see the tape if I put it up sideways, but you can't see it anyway if I do it any other way because it's blocked by the edges. And this will sit up on my wall, so there's no problem there. And I layered it to give it a 3D effect. And you can see by this box right here that it has a deep box in here. It's about maybe a ½ inch deep. And then this one's a ½ inch, and then this one doesn't have any. So, and this one's flat also. But I really like the way it came out. I had taken the out of the ephemera pack that I got, which was this Anna Griffin that went with the sorry about that, with the line of the Juliet, and I took that and I embossed it with the Cuttlebug embossing folder right here. And I'm not quite sure what the name of this one is. It kind of looks like a damask on here, if you can see the image. And what I did was I just, you know, it kind of looked like this. So again, I just took this and embossed it. Then I took my brown ink pad again, and I went across the top to hit the top of the embossed places to give it the same look that it had on the edges here. I cut a tag out, a flag out. I printed this on my computer. I sprayed that with some of this Lindy's Chateau Rose. You can get this, everything you can get at the boutique. So I sprayed that on here to give it a pale pink. I added 3 of the, let's see, 3 of these pearls right here, and I just cut them apart because you can use these as a strip, or you can cut them apart. And what I did was just cut them apart and laid them on here, and I put 3. So, but that came in the kit also, and these are really pretty. I really like these. And for the flowers, what I did was, these were some in my stash. I took the flowers and I wet them with some water, and I took this pink again, the Chateau Rose, and I just sprayed the inside circles. I just wanted the pink on the inside, and I wanted it white on the out. So it gives it that two-tone color. I added some of these skeleton leaves right here, and then these pieces of the leaves, and this rose right here is from the ephemera pack right here. Came in this, and I just slipped, I put those in there. And the actual vine is a Prima vine that I had in my stash, but she also does sell Prima, so you can get your flowers over at the boutique also. And I added a little bit of twine and just kind of centered it going up the center. And for this top piece, I wanted to give it an effect of hanging down in something, so I added this piece right here was in the kit also. It came with the album for, you know, embellishment. What I did with this is I did the same thing. I took the different inks and I just applied it to that. First, what I did before I did that, I did take the bare chipboard and I did apply some matte medium over it just to seal it so that I could mess with it and it could get wet and it wouldn't keep, you know, tearing, because sometimes it does get, the more you wet it, and I knew I was going to play with this a lot. I didn't want it to break. So that's what I did. And after I layered it with all those paints that I just used them in different different places. I took some of these glass beads that I have and attached the glass beads on here. I just took a brush and patted them on in different spots. And to get that brown look on there, like the brown that was on here, I took my ink pad again and I run it across so it would catch on the beads. But I let that dry overnight before I did start messing with it. And these are just some flat back pearls that I had in my stash. I took the gold paint and stain and just painted those up so they would match, and then I applied those. Hung some chain with a jump ring. Did not have the color chain that I wanted. So what I ended up doing was I just took some gold paint. I took some white paint. I just distressed that chain up so that it would match. And I stuck one of those eye hooks in here, and I have it with the jump ring hook there. So it looks like it's hanging. And that's how I created my canvas. And this is going to hang in my living room. I really like how it turned out. I love this paper collection. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've also made a card and did a video on a card process, and that will be posted later. But I wanted to get this up so that y'all could see, because I did do a sneak peek on this before the kit was released. So I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I hope everybody gives it a try. If you have any questions, please leave me a message in the box below, and I will try to get back to you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope y'all have a great Easter, and stay safe. Bye-bye.